everyone, Nicole here, another Founders Friday video. Thank you so much for coming back. As you know, every week I'm going to talk either about books or beauty, and this week I'm going to talk about books. Quick note, you probably noticed there is a new background because my lovely friend Melanie has let me use her place to film. As you guys probably know from my previous videos, my location is quite noisy, so it is not very great to film, especially because I don't have a really good mic. So this is a lovely place to film. Thank you, Melanie. And if you happen to see cats, it's because she has some cats and her roommate has a cat, but they're all are like too cool for school kind of cats. Like they just like to chill by themselves. But if they will come out, you'll see them. They're really cute. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so this week's video, I'm just gonna share with you guys what I'm currently reading. This year, I've started to read more than one book at once. I used to be a one book kind of person, but now I'm a multiple books kind of person. And so this is what I'm currently reading. So as you know, the magazine, we have a book club, and we have decided for this month we'll be reading So Far From God by Castillo. And one of like the reviews on the back basically is like, oh, someone wrote a Chicana telenovela, which is the perfect way to describe this book. It is a very like a telenovela in a book, you know. It has a lot of, you know, it's magical elements to it. Not like witches and vampires and stuff like that, but like all the daughters are like sensitive to the earth spirits, if you will. You know? And there are 4 daughters and a mother, and then a little bit in through the story, the father comes back. It takes place in New Mexico, and they are all Mexican American descent, and one of the daughters was part of like the Chicano movement in California, the oldest one that went to college in California. But I'm at the point of the book where all the daughters are still figuring out who they are. They're all going through very difficult times, and by difficult times I mean like, if you ever watch the show Shameless, it's like that a bit, where you're rooting for these characters to get their lives together, but they keep messing it up because of their own mistakes. And so I'm hoping they learn from their mistakes later on in the book. But sometimes it could get a little too caught in the weeds for my taste, you know, with the magical elements, a little too spiritual for my taste. But overall, I am really enjoying this book. I am excited that I'm reading a book written by a Latina, because I don't read a lot of books written by Latinas. So I will let you know how this turns out. And then when I need to take a little break from the magical elements of So Far From God, I am reading Summer Crossing by Truman Capote. Or, yeah, is that? I swear, I'm never going to say his last name right. I didn't know about this book. I knew about the other books he written, but I didn't know about this one. And so it's a very short book. I think I'm going to actually finish it quite soon. Maybe by the time you guys see this video, I'll be done with it. It's only like 142 pages. And it is a story about this young socialite. Her family has money. It is around, what year? I would say it takes place around the 1950s, because I want to say they reference World War II, but I'm not 100% sure. She's a young socialite, like 17, 18 years old. Her family has money. They have an apartment on 5th Avenue, New York, and basically she has convinced her parents to let her stay in New York for the summer by herself, unsupervised, while they go to their house in Europe. And one of the reasons why she wants to stay is because she's starting to fall for like her summer romance, which is a guy, working class, a war veteran who happens to be Jewish, which I guess back then was like taboo. I don't know, but it's cute. And he's just he comes from a very different world. You know, his family lives in Brooklyn, which takes about like, she talks about, it takes about like an hour to get there by train. So but she's just drawn to him because of his very, like, blunt and honest attitude, you know, because she's really surrounded by a world full of people that have to put on airs and have to act a certain way, and he's just very authentic and true to himself. So I'm at the point where, you know, she's still fighting her feelings for him, and also you could tell that he's trying to push her away too, knowing that that their worlds won't, like, mesh very well. So I'm excited to see where their romance is gonna go, because they're both still really young. I mean, he's in his early 20s, so. And what I enjoy about his writing is that he really focuses on the feelings of the characters. He sets the scenery, you know, Truman, he really does describe the scenery, but where he is so great at is, like, describing the inner workings of the characters, like just how they feel, and just using beautiful language. Like, his language is very flowery, and it's just so, like, beautiful. I don't know a better word to describe it. But at the same time, if you are the type of reader that likes your writer to get straight to the point, you might not like his books because he, you know, will use 20 words when 10 words will suffice. Can I speak today? I feel like I cannot speak today. Anyways, so I'm enjoying the Summer Crossing book. I think it's a great short novel about just a summer romance, and I'm excited to see where the characters go. And the last book I'm reading is a nonfiction book. I'm very proud of myself because in this last year I've read a lot more nonfiction books than I usually do. And I think I showed this to you guys in my May book haul because my mother-in-law got it for me. And I started reading it, and it's quiet. And, like, I'm only, let me see. What? Oh, 28 pages in. Okay. And already I've learned so much about, like, American society, world society, and how we start to value the extrovert. And it really came around, like, World War II and the rise of, like, the salesman, which is why we started to care more about extroverts than introverts. Well, not care, but value. There you go. Value extrovert traits more than introverts traits, because now all of a sudden the economy is getting better. You have a rise of salesmen, and now it's all about, like, personality. Instead of before that, it was more of how proper you can be and how reserved you can be. So, which I am excited about. Like, if I'm only 28 pages in and I've learned so much, I am ecstatic to know what I'm going to learn about in the next 100 pages. So stay tuned for a review on this book. It's just, I am just really excited to be able to finish this book, because there are, well, side note, okay, so I used to work with a lot of young kids, and and I noticed, like, even in childhood, you know, like, as adults, you always gravitate even more towards, like, the extroverted kids, and what about the introverted kids, and those kids, when they grow up, unless they go in the creative field, people might not see the value in them. And it's, those kids know, like, they're not the most loud child in the classroom, they're not the most talkative or sociable, but they bring so much depth to, like, the classroom environment. And, you know, I have nieces and nephews, and some of them have more introverted personalities, and, you know, how do you, what's the word, like, champion that, there we go. Like, how can you champion an introvert, because it is so needed. So I strongly, again, suggest you read this book if you have any introverted children or adults in your life, or if you've always happened to be an introvert. Like, just read the book. There's very few books where I actually, like, urge you guys to read, but I know most of you guys are nonfiction readers, so please read this book. Alright, and that is what I'm reading this month. See you guys next week.